What's going on, everyone? Dare here, and welcome back to another day of Marvel Snap. And holy cow, did we have a massive patch today? Not necessarily the nuts and bolts of the patch itself. There really isn't not a whole lot to talk about there, but the data mine that they were able to pull from the patch is absolutely huge. We finally got our December spotlight caches and bundles, and on top of it, we also got our January ones as well, which is such great news because it kind of confirms that theory that they're probably holding this information close to their chest to, I guess, hide secrets for announcements with the collaboration with Marvel Rivals. So it's really, really good news. On top of it, there's so much information here that I want to talk through that I'm going to split this up into two videos. I normally would not do this because primarily if I am doing a data mine coming for the December month, we would usually already have an idea of what the December spotlights look like, and we'd be looking at the January ones. That is not the case this month. So I'm going to take the time. We're going to go through the December spotlight caches, and we're going to go through the bundles, and then I'm going to have a second video where I go through the January cards, the January bundles, and then I'm still hoping that potentially they will be able to pull the series drops out of this patch that it has not been listed yet. I'm hopeful, fingers crossed. It does not look like that is probably going to happen, but they are still updating this page and adding stuff to it. So I am very hopeful that's going to happen. If that's the case, I'll either put that into the January video, or I may just do part 3. I don't know. Let's see how much information is coming in with this. So either way, let's get in there and let's see what we kind of all got cooking. Okay, let's start with the thing that people want the most, and that is the spotlight caches. I'm actually going to go through here. We're going to talk about the new cards, and I'm going to talk about who's coming with them on each week. I'm not going to go into too much specifics on, oh, this is the week that I'm going, this is the one I'm using my keys yet, mainly since this is the first time I'm seeing this as well. I really don't have that information yet. I'm going to do that towards the end of the month, just kind of depending on how things roll out. So let's go through it. Let's look at the new cards, see what they can do, and also talk about the cards that are coming in each of the weeks. So to begin, we're actually looking at December 3rd through December 10th, and we've got Luna Snow. Luna Snow is a 3/5. On reveal, add an ice cube to each side of this location. The ice cube is a 1/0. At the start of each turn, get +1 energy, then destroy this if your side is full here. So it's a fantastic ramp card. Really, really interesting mechanic, especially with the ice cube working similarly to White Widow's, I guess, bite, whatever you want to call it, Widow's bite, that it will actually get destroyed once that side is filled up. So really, really interesting card. She is getting joined by Lady Deathstrike and X-23. I think a lot of people were really hoping X-23 was going to drop. I'm not going to say this kind of, says that she's not, but I don't know. I don't think this actually really tells us either way. It's still likely that she could drop down to Series 4, and then Luna Snow's with 2 Series 4s in her week, or I'm leaning more towards she's not dropping, and we already have Lady Deathstrike as a Series 4. I will say this does confirm Lady Deathstrike is not dropping though, which is, I kind of thought that maybe she might. She kind of seems one of those cards that a little bit niche and one of the ones that they would want to push down, but that is not the case. All right, let's move on to the next week. All right, the next card on the list is Penny Parker. She comes out on December 10th. She's a 2/3. On reveal, add Spider to your hand. When this merges, you get +1 energy next turn. And then Spider is a 3/3. On reveal, merge this with one of your cards here. You can move that card next turn. Very interesting. Very, very interesting playline. I like the adaptability of it. Oh, you don't have to merge this with Penny herself. So let's say you're playing a bounce move deck, which is honestly probably where this fits in best. I mean, you play Human Torch on turn 1, you play Penny Parker on turn 2, you play Spider on turn 3, to the Human Torch. You then move the Human Torch to Penny Parker's lane, and then you play, I don't know, Beast, Toxin, someone, bounce them up, and then you do it all over again. Very, very interesting card. I think it's going to be, unfortunately, really strong in a bounce move deck that's already probably pretty strong. But either way, really, really interesting card. I think she looks like she's going to be fantastic. She's going to be joined by Sasquatch and Gladiator. Which is very interesting. I feel like the Sasquatch either sees a lot of play or he doesn't. And then Gladiator is kind of, honestly, I'm missing Gladiator. So either way, I'm not going into what you know, if I'm going on these weeks or not, but it is Gladiator, Sasquatch, and Penny Parker on December 10th through the 17th. Okay, and on December 17th, we have the big bad of Marvel Rivals himself. We've got Doom 2099. He is a 4/2. After each turn, add a Doombot 2099 to a random location if you played exactly one card here. So he plays a lot like Athena does, where Athena requires two cards to be played to get her buff. He's only requiring that you can't play more than one. And then he releases a Doombot 2099, which is also a 4/2. Ongoing your other Doom bots, and Doom have +1 power here. The thing I want to point out is that Dr. Doom 2099 specifically stated that you generate a Doombot 2099, but the ongoing of this does not state it's for Doom bots and Doom 2099 specifically. So I'm wondering if this buffs normal Doom, which if that's the case, this is going to be a very interesting card. I'm just picturing plays like Wong onto Dr. Doom 2099 into regular Doom. I don't know. I think it could be really, really interesting. They don't have a whole lot of like wild stats right now. I mean, they are 4/2s, but I think if they do buff up normal Doom, that is really, really interesting. I'm definitely intrigued. This is definitely a week that I'm honestly keeping my eye on. He comes with Hitmonkey, which I've been wanting for a long time, and Meek. So Meek's not exactly the top of my want list, but Hitmonkey definitely is. I think this also goes to show Hitmonkey is unfortunately not dropping to Series 3. I kind of was hopeful that he would. I don't know why. But the part of me was like, yeah, Hitmonkey would be fantastic because I don't have him. But either way, that is the week of December 17th. Let's move on. All right, the week of December 24th, we have got Bruce Banner. When you end a turn with unspent energy, 25% chance to Hulk out. I can't decide if this card is insane or not. So it's a 2/1 with a 25% chance you don't use all your energy to turn into Hulk, which becomes, 12 power. I don't know. I think this could turn into an extremely good card, especially like with silly things like Frigga. I mean, you throw out him on turn 2, you Frigga him on turn 3, you throw him out on turn 4, you have unspent energy. You have a quarter of a chance on both of them to get 12 power on turn 4. And then, yeah, I don't know. I think that 25% chance is, I think it's gonna make or break, because we all know how Danger Room works. Is Danger Room 25%? I think Danger Room is either 25 or 33%. Either way, it's a low chance, and we know how often that kills our stuff. So maybe it is. But either way, I do like the chance of this. I do think that Bruce Banner looks like he's gonna be a fun card to play. It seems like he is gonna be an all or nothing card. Joining him this week, he also has High Evo, which is, I mean, I'm missing High Evo, so I'm already very interested in this week. And Ravonna, which I have Ravonna, but I mean, this is a pretty decent week. So not bad for the week of Christmas. Okay, and then the final card in the Marvel Rivals collaboration month is we've got on December 31st, I mean, very, very, very barely making the cut, we've got Rocket Raccoon and Groot. They are a 3/3. You can move this once. After your opponent plays a card here, steal 1 power from it. Very interesting that you can move it. Like that is really interesting, because essentially, especially you're playing someone like Bounce, you're playing, essentially any sort of deck, you play it down, they're playing cards into a lane, they got an open lane they're gonna be playing into, you move it over to that lane to kind of counteract that. I do like that active kind of gameplay. It's a very interesting card that I'm gonna be really curious how he ends up working. But joining him on that week, we've got Blob returning, and then Selene. That wraps up the Marvel Rival Spotlight Cache. The other card that we need to take a look at is actually Galacta herself, which will be the season pass card for that month. So the season pass card is Galacta, daughter of Galactus. She's a 4/6. Each turn, the first card you play at another location reveals with +3 power. So I think that reveals with +3 power makes it really good, because she's going to work on stuff like Brood, which is really, really nice. And actually already got brought up on my Discord of like, she would be a fantastic replacement for Gwenpool and Surfer. because I mean Gwenpool has a lot of RNG of hitting everything in your hand, and with Surfer you don't always have, you know, your hand dwindled down to the point where you're hitting the cards that you want to. So you could play her on 4, Sarah on 5 into her lane, and then you could put Brood in the other lane and Shaw in the second lane, and then Silver Surfer down for a turn 6 play to buff everything up. I do really like that option compared to the, you know, the Gwen RNG of hoping you hit the cards that you want to in your hand. She also, I am unfortunately kind of thinking is it could be potentially stupid gross with her father's deck into a Symbiote Spider-Man Galactus play, especially if you did something silly like you had Aranya on lane and then you played Galacta on that lane as well, triggered or activated Aranya to push Symbiote Spider-Man into an empty lane. He gets, I think that he would get the buff on the first lane and then he gets pushed over, and then you play Galactus on that same lane, he gets the buff, so their 13 power becomes 19 power. I already hate it. I already hate it. But either way, maybe it's not going to turn out that way. Maybe that's too much bouncing around for a Galactus deck to fully utilize, but I think she's going to be a really good card. I think she's a strong 4/6. She's also, I mean, essentially she's going to be a 4/12. So really, once again, they're bringing a season pass card that's bringing the power in. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, and let's do a very quick run through of the bundles for December. I will probably, like I always do, I've only done it once, I'm going to continue doing it, is at the end of the month, I'm going to do a calendar of what's coming in December, and I'll actually kind of point out the ones that I think are worth your attention. But here right now, let's go through all of them and just kind of, you know, do a quick run through of what's coming in December and when it's coming out. So on December 3rd, Marvel's Best Boy Cosmo gets a bundle for $19.99, and we get 500 credits, 2,000 gold. I mean, it's a standard bundle. There's nothing here sticking out. I mean, honestly, for a good Cosmo variant and 2,000 gold for $20, you know, it's a bundle. Following week, we've got Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with a really cool Mockingbird variant and a Wasp variant for 2 metallic borders, one Spotlight Cash Key, 5,000 credits, 5,000 gold for $100. That seems wild to me. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. That seems wild to me. That I don't know. There's no tokens in here. It's only 1 cash key. I mean, you do get a Series 5 card, a Mockingbird, and a really good one at that, but I don't see the value in that one. Then on December 5th, you got the One Who Knocks. For 4,500 gold, you get Shadow King and 7,500 credits. That is a ton of credits, but I don't think it's worth it. For 4,500 gold, I mean, the currency value exchange is okay. It's not great. I think the only reason that I would ever look at this is like you're really early Series 3 and you're just trying to rush through some stuff. I think that is the only way, and even then, that's not a great conversion from gold to credits, and especially if you are really early Series 3, 4,500 gold is a lot of money, especially if you're free to play. So I don't know. I don't really know if I actually like that one at all. On December 10th, we've got Claws for Celebration. We got another Zabu variant here for $25. You get 2,000 collector's tokens, 1,200 credits, and Zabu. I think my opinion of this is really going to depend if Zabu does drop or not. I was kind of expecting him to, but I have no idea. I mean, if he stays as a Series 4 card and you get 2,000 collector's tokens, this price isn't that terrible. I mean, it's really not. I mean, as far as value goes as bundles, it's probably the best one we've seen so far if you're open to spending money. Okay, on December 11th, we have a Moon Knight variant for $15 for 1,500 credits and 700 gold. It's not too terrible. That you know, the $10 to $15 range bundles generally seem to be the best value in my opinion. Same thing, we've got the Tide Hunter on December 13th. We've got Wave variant dropping for 1,200 gold for $10. Honestly, that is a pretty decent bundle in my eyes. You get a pretty cool variant, especially if you play Wave. That one's not too bad, especially if you're looking for a reason to use the Samsung coupons that I made a video on earlier. You could probably get this bundle for $1, which is not too bad. Next one is Bill Breaker. We have a Beta Ray Bill variant dropping for all of our Beta Ray Bill lovers out there. I know there's at least one. For $35, you get 6,000 credits in Beta Ray Bill, who is a Series 5 card. I mean, if you got the $35 and you really want Beta Ray Bill, especially following up the Asgardian season where he's probably going to have a lot of decks that he's useful in, it could be a really interesting option. I mean, it just could be. I mean, we've got Eitri coming. We've got a ton of Jane Foster variants out there. I mean, that deck specifically, the Thor Asgardian deck, if you're missing Beta Ray Bill and you got 35 bucks laying around, it's honestly not that bad of a bundle for a Series 5 card, but that is so many credits too. If this was tokens, I would probably like do it. Maybe go for it, but it's not. Next one on the list, we've got Artist Spotlight Brett Bean. On December 18th, we get Devil Dinosaur Beast, 3,000 collector's tokens, and a bunch of boosters for those two cards. I am probably definitely going to be getting this one. I mean, that's the 3,500 gold or 3,000 collector's tokens bundles. This is how I spend my gold each month. We did not get one of these in November. I'm still a little bit irked by it, but these are the bundles that I look for to cycle my gold into tokens. And you know what? That's the one I'm going for. So I think it's pretty decent. I do wish that it was a Series 4. I mean, I always am greedy like that, but you know what? Devil Dinosaur and Beast, who's going to complain? Next one is the Devil Wears Blue. We've got a Mystique variant on December 20th for $20 and 2,500 credits. Is not good. That's not a good bundle. I'm just moving on. Trips and Tricks. Trips and Tricks. That's an awkward one to say. For $50. Okay. $50, you get Loki and 7,500 gold. So as far as a currency value goes, this one is actually a pretty decent bundle. I would lean towards it if I thought that Loki was a needed card anymore. I mean, if you play a lot of Airshim, I mean, and you got $50 to blow on a game around Christmas time, then I guess sure. But he's not what he used to be, and $50 is a lot to blow on this game. So, I mean, it is a decent bundle. If you really want Loki, you really don't mind blowing $50 on the game. I do think this is not a bad bundle to get. We got Web Shredder. We got Spider Woman, and 2,500 credits for a Snowflake Blue border. I'm really curious what that's going to look like. For 2,000 gold. It's literally 2,000 gold, 2,500 credits there's nothing special about that currency exchange. This is literally the bare minimum. So, I mean, you could just go buy the credits for this amount of gold, but I mean, you are getting a Spider-Woman variant. She's a Series 1 card. I mean, it's not a good bundle. Next one, we got Widow and White. We got a White Widow variant for 10,000 collector's tokens, 2,400 gold for $100. Okay. If you're looking to buy your cards, here it is. You can get this and another one of the bundles for 2,000 collector's tokens. Get yourself 2 Series 5 cards. Heck, you get 4 Series 4 cards. But I mean, it's it's a $100 bundle. They're not going anywhere. And then finally, we've got 2 more. We've got the Good, the Bad, and the Misty. We got a Misty Night bundle for 1,500 credits and for $10, which is just an okay $10 bundle. And then we got Mega Explosive Snow Day for Megasonic Teenage Warhead for 2,500 credits, 2,500 gold for $25, which is weirdly probably the best value that we've seen. I mean, realistically, I mean, this is probably the best value bundle if you're spending cash this month. It's definitely probably this Negasonic Teenage Warhead one. And we're not done yet. We are also getting the standard web shop recaps, which usually I think are probably the best bang for your bucks if you're going to be spending money on Marvel Snap. So on November 28th at the end of the month, we are getting a She-Hulk bundle for 1,500 credits, 1,000 gold for $15. And then we're also getting a Moon Girl bundle for 1,000 credits, 1,400 gold for $15. I think generally speaking, if I'm going to spend money on the game, it is going to be one of these web reshop caps recaps. However, I did notice that they are adding in more web shop bundles, and it's going to be a weekly one. So starting on November 12th, we're getting a Gambit bundle for $10 and 1,000 collector's tokens. Which, I mean, honestly, once again, if you're going to be picking up, you know, spending 10 bucks, 15 bucks a month, I think I'm starting to lean towards these weekly web shop bundles are the way to go. I think the only unfortunate thing is that you can't use coupons on these. So we have the Gambit one, and then the following week on November 19th, there's a Moon Knight one for 1,600 credits for $10. And then on November 26th, we have a Mr. Negative one for 1,000 collector's token for $10. So I kind of it kind of seems like they are pushing more into doing more web shop bundles, because they get more money that way, and also they're putting more collector's tokens in those bundles. I don't know. I was gonna say I don't know if I am a big fan of this or not, but we'll just have to see. Time will tell. If you can afford the extra 20 bucks a month, this is another 2,000 collector's tokens. Wow, that actually no. Once I say that out loud, it's really, I mean, you're going to be spending $60. Oh God, you're going to be spending $60 over the course of 3 months for a Series 5 card. Once I say that out loud, I don't like that at all. I really don't. Yeah, so I mean, you're spending. I mean, you don't have to spend 60. No, yeah, you do. Yeah, it's $60. If you just buy the one every other week for the collector's tokens, to get 6,000 collector's tokens, yeah, it's gonna be $60 over the course of 3 months to get one Series 5 card. Yep. When I say it out loud, these are not very great either. Especially, I mean, just from a cash flow standpoint on expenses. But either way, that's the bundles for the month. And that is the Datamine for the month of December. I'm actually really excited. After seeing the cards and kind of, what they're all bringing, I'm really excited about them and spotlight caches, and glad that I did save some keys up, because there are a couple weeks that I definitely will be going after, but we'll be talking about that here in a couple of weeks when I do my how I'm spending my keys video. I will be doing part 2. Let's going through the January spotlight caches, the January bundles. I'm not sure if I'll have time to get that out today, but it will be coming out shortly. I still also need to do a video on Malekith. So I have a really, really busy day today. I'm going to try as hard as I can to get 3 videos made. I'm going to release this one today. Probably, I don't even know if I'm going to pull Malekith. I'm going to be shooting for him and Thena. Honestly, if I get Thena on my first pull, I'm probably done. More than likely, it's going to be first key is going to be Valentina, because I know that's what my luck is. But either way, I'm rambling. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button to see more of my content. And I will see you guys on the next one. Check you later.